Tonight, the old bench tells another story. A story not about disasters, politics, or tragedy, but about a young man, a 19-year-old who climbed from 20 billion to 100 billion rupiah. A boy named Sully. When Sully first sat on this bench, metaphorically or not, he was already different. At 18, he had 20 billion rupiah, a fortune most adults never touch in their entire lives. But in just 1 year, that number grew 5-fold, 100 billion. At 19. People asked, what's the secret? What magic formula does he use? But Sully smiled, quietly, because his journey wasn't about magic, it was about moments. 3 of them. The first moment happened at dawn. While the world slept, he woke early, opened his screen, and caught the launch of a meme coin, the Trump coin. A small window, a split second, but he seized it. The second moment was connection, meeting the right people, the right mentors, people like K. Andrew, who didn't just give him information, but gave him alignment. Crypto is a wild ocean, and Sully learned to swim with the currents, not against them. The third moment was momentum, not of the market, but of himself. His brand grew, his community expanded, capital flowed, contacts appeared, and suddenly doors that were once impossible to open swung wide with ease. But the most surprising part of his story isn't the money, it's the simplicity. Even after reaching 100 billion, Sully's life didn't change much. Why? Because, as he said, 20 billion was already enough for my lifestyle. What changed was something deeper, the feeling of safety. He didn't spend based on his net worth, he spent based on monthly income, trading profits, passive interest, steady returns. The system stayed disciplined while the world expected him to live like a king. His most expensive item? A Patek Philippe Aquanaut, worth 1.7 billion. His car? A second-hand Lexus LM, a reminder that wealth isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers. Yet the bench knows, ambition rarely ends where comfort begins. Sully's next goal? 1 trillion rupiah. And this time, he won't do it alone. He plans to build an ecosystem, an incubator that takes ordinary people from zero to their first billion. Companies like Ternak Clip become part of the machine, a pipeline of digital growth. His investment map is simple, 15 to 20% in real assets, bonds, watches, stocks, business. The rest, crypto. Bitcoin, 50 to 60%. His biggest altcoin, hyperliquid, nearly 30%. And like all traders who survive the storms, he watches cycles. He believes the bull run continues until 2026, with Bitcoin reaching $150,000. Not luck, but an understanding of policy, liquidity, and the rhythm of expanding business cycles. This bench also remembers the weight Sully carried during the traders' competition. No winner was ever declared, no rules ever written clearly. He walked away, even when his portfolio was at the top, because sometimes the reward isn't worth the pressure, not even for a Rolex. And to the young people who listen to him, he gives one answer, simple, unromantic, and true. Consistency, the most underrated skill, doing the things you hate again and again until results appear. Sully built a community, Trade with Sully, with free and paid spaces, events, portfolios, education. Not to show off, but to make the path easier for those walking behind him. And as the night falls, the bench whispers one last thought. Success isn't always about brilliance. Sometimes it's about waking up early, catching your moment, paying attention to the tiny details the world ignores, and holding on to momentum when it finally arrives. And that is the story the old bench tells tonight.